How funny is it that James Gunn, the creator of Peacemaker, has his wife play Hawkwood on the show? The entire time I was watching, all I was thinking was, is James Gunn gonna allow John Cena to bang his wife? So Peacemaker's been out for a while now, so I can finally talk about it without worrying about spoiling. Peacemaker is a show that we can all agree is a jolly good time, with rollicking gut-busting jokes, surprisingly deep psychological themes, and a majestic array of action scenes that don't miss a beat from the Suicide Squad movie. After watching the Suicide Squad, I have to say that director James Gunn made the right call by choosing Peacemaker to lead the spin-off series. I know that there were talks about it being Bloodsport or even Harley Quinn, but I honestly can't see either of them being quite as enticing as what we got. Especially Harley Quinn, I don't need to see another series with her as a lead. She already has the animated series, which is a gem on its own. Just let her quit while she's ahead. In the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker was just introduced and portrayed as a rival to our main character Bloodsport, as a slightly more cunning and egotistical version of his character. Throughout the film, Peacemaker, while not given the largest amount of depth, stood out as one of the best characters due to his hilariously ridiculous ideology. The concept of his character is that he's someone willing to kill anyone to achieve peace, which is an intentional oxymoron that works so well for comedy. That's how the movie succeeds at delivering us the character no one has ever heard of and making him funny and memorable. John Cena did a fantastic job, and I was honestly so excited to see the character continue his hilarious antics in his spin-off show on HBO Max. But then, something different happened. Sure, the episode starts out with a funny escape of our main character as he narrowly avoids death, and we get a kick-ass opening with possibly the greatest dance choreography I've ever seen. I swear, K-pop has a long way to go before they can reach this level of epicness. Seriously, if you weren't vibing to the intro like my roommate here, then I don't know what to tell you. You might not have a soul. But when the dust settles, we see the man behind the mask more often, as Peacemaker doesn't even wear his mask for the good majority of the show. The show is about Chris Smith way more than his alter ego, Peacemaker. Much of his hilarious ideology that we all laugh at comes from a place of tragedy, and it's so unexpected to see that Peacemaker is carrying so much emotional depth and pain. This is first introduced when we meet Peacemaker's father, Augie Smith, a man with no moral compass and a general narrow point of view when it comes to the world.
Guy I was working with, Bloodsport, we find out he's got a rat phobia, screaming like a little girl. And this other member of the team, Ratcatcher, she controls rats. You know how he got the phobia?
Of course I don't fucking know how he got it.
He was tortured. Right?
Please, God, don't tell me he was the one who shot you.
I honestly started to get the vibes of Cobra Kai just from how anti-PC the style of humor was in Peacemaker, and I'm all for it. I think James Gunn really knows how to push the limits in comedy. And since every year I feel more and more desensitized to the stale comedy of modern television, it's nice to see someone making a genuine effort. I mean that the direction of the show's humor is guided in the fact that nothing is off the table, and Peacemaker could get as real as he has to in order to get the most genuine laugh with topical comedy. For example, I absolutely adore how candid and non-sugar-coated his exchanges with the janitor in this opening scene.
You only killed minorities, man!
I killed a fair amount of white people, too.
The ratio is suspect is all I have to say. But you need to watch white people as closely as you watch people of color, so you see more of them committing crimes.
Fine, that's a good point. I will trust white people less in the future and kill a higher percentage of them. Are you satisfied?
That's the kind of stuff that Hollywood has an unspoken rule about not to touch. Controversy leads to negative viewers, and much like Cobra Kai, this show doesn't give a crap, and I respect that. I feel like maybe there was some inspiration because they literally even have a character named Cobra Kai on the show. Yeah, I know his real name is Judo Master, but people have been calling him Cobra Kai on the show, so it counts. Anyways, Robert Patrick's character, Peacemaker's dad, is a racist, a homophobe. Dude's not the nicest guy, but we see Peacemaker desperately trying to make a connection with him. After escaping prison, all Peacemaker wants to do is leave his past behind him. He wants to make sure all his debts are paid, and right now, he owes a group of undercover agents his services to stop an alien invasion of butterflies from taking over the Earth. Sound ridiculous yet? Good, because that's on purpose. However, I do have a slight issue with the project in that it's almost identical to the one from Suicide Squad and Project Starfish. Both projects revolve around a giant monster that resembles an animal on Earth. Both projects start with a giant monster that leads tiny little monsters that invade people's bodies and uses them as hosts. Peacemaker, being the doofus that he is, knows that his code requires him to establish peace no matter the cost. But that ideology is challenged after he finally breaks down from the brutality of his crimes in the Suicide Squad. More specifically, the death of Rick Flag. Now, Peacemaker idolizes this man, but the two men come at odds when Rick Flag learns about the shifty behavior behavior of the company that they work for, and he plans on exposing them. Peacemaker challenges him and ultimately kills him in a fight to the death, leading to the infamous words,
Peacemaker. What a joke.
The man is tortured by the question that ultimately becomes the theme of the show. Should he continue to kill in order to protect? And what exactly is under that layer of cold-blooded, delusional killing practices? Peacemaker's dad is revealed to be the reason of many of his past trauma, as we learn Peacemaker killed his own brother in a fistfight that his dad set up between them for a betting match with his unfavorable rowdy gang of clan members. Yes, that's right, you heard it, he's a clan member. Any chance of him getting redeemed was thrown out the window at that point. On top of all this, Peacemaker secretly hides his bisexuality, as it's revealed that he's had relationships with men, and his dad is clearly not a fan of that. Peacemaker can't stop blaming himself for the death of his brother, so he leans on his dad more than he should, and the show culminates in the 7th episode, the one right before the finale, where Peacemaker finally fights back against his dad, who becomes the White Dragon at this point, a supervillain leading his Ku Klux Klan members to killing his son. Peacemaker finally does the right thing and puts a bullet in his old man's head. Yo, when I saw this moment happen in front of me, I was genuinely blown away by how abrupt it was. There wasn't any build up, just a quick shot in the head and one of the series' main antagonists were dead.
Dude, this is a really weird time to do your face exercises. I mean, I guess you don't get a totally sick, jacked face like yours without dedication, but...
James Gunn, you got me again. And that's not even the ending, as throughout the show, Peacemaker develops genuine relationships with his crew, from the stone cold hardcore, to the pathetic Diebeard, to the neurotic Leota. And who could forget the best character, the wacky, mentally handicapped Vigilante? All these characters are introduced as obstacles to Peacemaker's goal to bettering his life, but in the end, they're the very people he fights to protect. In the final episode of Peacemaker, he makes the ultimate decision between his new friends and his ideology, both values going head to head with one decision. The Butterfly Project is revealed to be about a group of aliens who are just trying to stop humans from destroying themselves and preventing global warming. The direction of peace seems to point towards them being in the right, as humanity is on the trajectory of destruction, and quite the opposite of peace. The butterflies are here to stop them at the price of taking over their bodies and killing the hosts. Peacemaker's whole character was built around peace, no matter how many people died in order to achieve it, and that's why his growth is apparent when he ultimately decides to destroy the butterflies' main food source and end their reign of terror.
Be the peacemaker. What do you say?
Activate human torpedo.
Peacemaker's whole arc this season ultimately boiled down to the trolley problem. In order to protect his friends, Peacemaker let go of the faulty ideology he'd been carrying all his life, and he saves the day, not by restoring peace, but by saving those around him. And all the criticism that he'd received from the other characters about his actions, labeling him a supervillain, can finally end. Peacemaker proved that he can be a superhero, and all it really takes is a little bit of change. But I want to know your guys' thoughts. What are your thoughts on Peacemaker? And are you excited for season 2? Let me know with a comment down below. Yo guys, it's Rick Flag.
Kimbrough Entertainment. What a joke.